Oh boy, hot diggity dog. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports by Golly. It has been one hell of a forward days, and we're going to talk all about it. We're going to get after it. We're going to talk about what happened today. We've been teased. We've been tickled that there could be more. We'll talk about that. We're trending for 5 stars now. Billy snapped. I don't know what they fed him this morning, what Mrs. Napier gave him, put on his bagel. It's an everything bagel because he is dialed in, and I love it. He is going 95 down a school zone right now, okay? Screw the speed limit. Billy's flying. We'll talk about that. A player was dismissed, so there was a little bit of gray cloud over the day. We'll dive into that just a little bit. And then possible flip watch. Look, Billy's got a lot up his sleeves. I've been watching Now You See Me on Netflix. And I think Billy is too, because he's pulling out all the magic tricks, and I love it. Boys, there is 124 strong, and we're 60 seconds in. That means you got to smash that dang like button. Let YouTube know that we dialed in today, that we're here to have a good time for a long time today, because we got a jam-packed show. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Stephen Harris joins the show. Big dog. Come on, baby. Chomp,
Yes,
chomp. How about it, baby? How about it?
Yeah, man.
Fired up?
Big Billy cooking, man. We cooking, man. We cooking.
He had
to
us
say Jubilee June, man, in full effect.
He had us working OT this weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love it.
Jubilee June, man. It's funny to hear that thing kind of have like a nice ring to it, because we created that on a random Tuesday in June, like 3 years ago, and here we are. If they don't use it for marketing next year, I'm gonna be disappointed. But
On fire. Well, we had one commit coming into the month, something like that.
two with Perez.
Yeah.
We're to battle with Mr. Perez in Ohio State right now. But yes, essentially 1.5 heading into the month of June, and here we are. I mean, just 12, 13. I don't even know anymore. With a lot more promising, which we'll dive into, and then we'll even get into like what's left, right? Where do we head next? And we've got some things to look at. Super chat's already flowing. I love it, man. Aloe pack $5 to show them. I want more commits, my man. I need more. Go Gators. Look, that's how you get. You know what I mean? It's a drug. You get a couple, and you're like, it's not enough. It's not. I want these boys to feel the burn.
They want the spacesuit, man.
We just want to take a trip to NASA. You know, I mean, I feel like if Billy, the problem is it's gonna be like November when the class comes to a final. But if Billy laid the top 3 class, the wife and I want to go to Cape Canaveral anyways. I'm not against going down there and shooting a show to celebrate the top 3 class. I can I'll put that in there. We'll see. We'll dial that up. Let's talk about how this morning started.
Infinity and beyond. No, I'm sorry. I thought I was Buzz Lightyear.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about how the morning got started. That's not how the morning got started. Where's my graphics aren't even here. So we're gonna back up because I knew I deleted something. I'd be moving too quick. I'd be deleting stuff, man. We got 2 offensive line commits this morning
For sure.
to get the ball going for today. And again, there was a little Hayes Fawcett tweet that we could possibly get more. We were on it. We had the 2 videos dropped. One of those being 3-star offensive lineman Javari Lucas, which we already kind of had a crystal ball for him. We felt good about that one. And then the other one was Tyler. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. 4-star offensive tackle. He ultimately committed shortly after Javari Lucas, putting now this class with 3 offensive linemen, I believe. Steve, what were your thoughts on those 2 big commits today, man?
Oh, I love them. The guy I'm impressed most is the Tyler kid. I love his size. I know he's a little light right now, but he has great footwork. He's a guy that can get out in space, and block in space, connects with his blockers on screens and stuff like that. And if you just look at the type of talent that we're evaluating and getting, I believe these guys fit the mold of the style of offense that we're going to have. We got some mobile quarterbacks, so we need guys with quick feet that can get out in space and block on some of this RPO stuff and these quick screen type of deals. But they got strong hands, but very quick feet, especially for the Tyler kid. And then the other guy, Javari Lucas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Javari Lucas. Already got the size. He's 305, something like that. But he's very strong at the point of contact. Yeah, very strong at the point of contact. More for me, so more of like a run type of guy. Can get great push. He's very strong up top. His upper body strength is amazing. He's a guy that's gonna lay on people and pound them on. So I know once we get our hands on him with Cosell and those guys, 5-1, get the technique down pack with that frame. I believe he's gonna be a great player for us. He's more of a right tackle to me, or depending on how much weight we put on him, he probably moves inside to guard. But the other guy, Tyler, definitely has the quick feet. He could be a great left tackle for us. I believe he could block that blind side just with the way he's able to kick step and the strength he has, upper body, and with the footwork. He's light on his feet for a big fella. Definitely finishes all his blocks. If you put it on his tape, you see him running down the field, finishing guys. He just has a knack to me for completing the play. He just doesn't stop, and you want that out of offensive tackle.
Let's talk about this offensive line, right? Because I think this is where the next question is going to be on where does Florida go from here. We'll kind of break down this class, but let's break down the offensive line for just a moment. So we have 4 offensive linemen committed, all labeled as tackles. Now, in high school, you were kind of just alluding to those guys they get shoved around, so it's hard to really tell what they'll actually come in and be. I want to say Big Rob was an offensive tackle, and obviously we see him playing center now. So I don't really take that for too much for granted. You had to look at their size and their kind of their ability. Keith talked about their ankles too, which is a factor on how they'll transition into college. Yeah. But four offensive linemen, Javari Lucas being the lowest rated one of the 4. Then Jameer Carr from IMG, the first official O lineman to commit to the Florida Gators, and the smallest one at 6'4", 336. And I say that lightly. Then Chancellor Campbell, the offensive tackle, at 6'8", 295. Then, of course, Tyler Chakuyum, I believe, the other offensive tackle, 6'6", at 290, just under a 4-star, or he is a 4-star commit, depending on where you look. Now, the question is, again, we start putting this class together. Florida typically has 4 to 5 offensive linemen that they get committed. We're sitting at 4 right now. So could this be it for Florida? Right. And then I got to thinking, right, because we talked about it today with both offensive lineman commits, and everyone's going to be like, where's our 5-star offensive lineman? And I got, when you look at the classes and you look at recruiting, you got to look how these recruiting classes are similar to draft classes. You'll hear all the time in draft classes, this quarterback class is weak, this class is heavy on defensive line, right? Like, where is the power? Where is the value, I would say, in this class? And maybe the offensive line in this overall class, maybe there's a few top-end guys, but then after that, it kind of thins itself out because there were a few big ones, the Felix Ochos, the Jackson Cantwells, and there's a few other that are kind of really just, those are big 5-star guys, and they're really trying to milk it, as we can tell. Felix is almost like a 6th official visit. And I wonder if Florida is waiting to see how they kind of close in some other guys, and if they want to get that 5th offensive lineman, it's going to be the big fish. But for sure, I know we've got some other names on the table, and I know we got some guys leaving, so do they go for 6 offensive linemen in this class? That's going to be something that we kind of keep an eye on and monitor, but typically Florida floats around 4 to 5.
Yeah, I think, with the guys that we've already got and the ones that are committed, I think we're probably capped out. And like you said, we're going to save a spot now. If one of those 5-star guys just love Florida and at the end want to commit to us, then we're definitely open for that. But I think just with the transfer portal and the way things are going, some of those 5-star offensive tackle guys are going to be like reserved for, not for lack of a better word, smaller schools that are going to throw the bag at them because they know, hey, if I get a 5-star, I can secure my quarterback. You know what I mean? So I think, and bigger schools will work their way through the portal and stuff like that to find proven talent at some of these positions. And just for lack of better words, a lot of these offensive tackles is like premium in high school. You're rarely going to see where a guard in high school is heralded so high. Sure. You know what I mean? You want that athletic, that footwork, but you're going to get some tackles that are just big and can move that they'll later on come in as guards. You come in as a freshman and you're 295, 2-something. They put 20, 30 pounds on you. They'll move you inside, but they know you have the footwork and you can move around. Plus, quarterback is the most important position on the field. You need guys that can protect that. So if anybody goes down, you need somebody that has some background at playing offensive tackle to rotate back out should injuries arise. So I think that's why you get a lot of high school tackles that go to college, but then they end up changing their positions to centers, guards, and stuff like that. It's rare that you see a guard straight out of high school stay a guard the whole way, sure, up and through college. But I think with what we got, we're going to stay with the guys we got, we're going to develop those guys. And if a 5-star do want to come, then we'll leave that position open for them. But I like what we picked up. I like what they're doing. I like the style. They're not just recruiting guys just off size and speed, but they're actually recruiting guys that are going to fit our mold of offense and the style that we play. So
for sure. And later on in the show, we're going to break this down a little bit more because in what's left in targets, because Florida's sitting at 12 commits. So you got to think about 10 to 13 more guys. So what are those positions going to be? How are they going to look? And if Florida can do what we would love them to do and really get some top tier guys, kind of like, let's say the last 10 commits, 5 of those are top 100 players, and the other 5 are maybe some fill-in guys, 5 to 6. You're looking at an extremely healthy class, and we'll get into it some more. But love these offensive linemen, man. They've got great size, and again, the thing for me, Florida has done a great job on what they've been able to pull and develop when it comes to recruiting offensive linemen. Again, we get frustrated because it isn't the shiny 5-star kid, but this line is built of 3- and 4-star guys that have grinded and worked their way through and have been developed. And again, the guys following them and follow that same pattern. So why shy away for what's working? Why shy away for a line that ranks top 5 in the SEC according to Kubalik, right? Why shy away from what has so many people fire up on this Florida team going into this year? So look, some people were kind of very positive in the comments this time. I think they think that I was complaining about it, but I wasn't. I was simply addressing the ones that like to get fiery about there not being, hey, where are the 5-star guys? But we'll break that down some more. One last thing.
Yeah, 5 stars, when they come in, they're expected to play right away.
Yeah.
In Florida, you win the SEC, you playing with big dogs. No disrespect. I love, a freshman that could come in and play right away. But are we trying to put that pressure on a freshman tackle?
That's a great point, right? Like a Jackson Cantwell.
Yeah, you do that at another school. Let them build itself up. You don't do that at Florida right now.
Because Jackson Cantwell went to Miami, 5-star offensive tackle. He wanted 5-star money. Well, if I'm going to give you 5-star money, Cat, you got to play. You better be him day one.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Kirby and other guys you're probably not going to be him day one. I'm just being honest with you, where you can go to Miami and have early success and grow into that role, right? Francis Monago, he did that. Sure. He was able to adapt very quickly. Now, I know there's some Miami fans that watch the show and think that I'm taking a complete shot at them. Look, I think Miami is a reputable school. I think they've done a great job, especially on developing the offensive line. But let's be honest, when you're going up against the likes of, Georgia Tech's on a little bit of a tear, but the Boston Colleges, Syracuse of old, North Carolina of old, you're able to. The edge rushers in the ACC,
it's not the same.
They ain't got that dog in them. Okay, so
no, it's not the same.
Not quite the same. And I think you're allowed to have some growing pains, if you will.
Right.
But yeah, let's talk about some exciting news, man. This is getting some people fired up. Two 5-star guys. One has been crystal ball. The other one is there currently. Cornerback Chauncey. What's his name? Where's my stuff here?
Chauncey.
Yeah, I've got my prospects. Chauncey Keenan. Yeah, 5-star,
yeah.
top cornerback. He's there currently. Right now, FSU, I think, is leading the way, which we'll get into all that a little bit. But the big one is who I pitched early on. And it's Trenton Henderson, the 5-star edge. I mean, this guy, the 6'4", 225, top 30 player in the country, top 4 in his position. This is what Colin Simmons was just a couple of years ago. Like, this is a guy, and we just talked about this. Florida's in a place to go get a 5-star edge because of what they're losing. Now,
right.
We just got done talking about it. If you're going to come in with this kind of level, you better be him. Like Colin Simmons showed up to Texas and said, I'm him. Now, speaking of Texas, that's who we got to go up against. He canceled his visit to USC, which got us all excited. Crystal balls were flowing. The Hayes Fawcett tweet goes out. I was like, here we go. Billy's about to blow the roof off this thing. I'm hearing it could be another name, but that's besides the point. He still has been crystal ball to Florida, but has a visit to Texas this week. We've been getting in dogfights with Texas. Again, this is one where Florida, if I look at this, Florida, you lost to Colin Simmons one. It hurt me, but we talked about it. With the George Gums, Tyreek Saps, and at the time, LJ McCray, and at the time, Justice Boone, you're like, hey, you've got and Jack Piper, you've got some guys you're going to work through. And I'm sure that was an honest conversation. If I'm talking to Trenton Henderson next year, it's like, this is yours to lose to come to Florida. And we're going to give you the bag as well. So
I love. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Oh no, I love the kid. 6'4", 225.
Yeah.
Very, very, very smart player. If you just watch his tape, He knows when he get his hands up. You know what I mean? Very physical. He's quick around the edge. He's good with his hands on inside moves. I just love his size and frame. He looks like just David Clowney out there in high school playing against the guys. He's bigger than everybody. He's overpowering everybody. But I just like the fact that he's smart. Before the snap, you can see him looking at formations, seeing what the sets the offensive end is in to know what type of rush to give him. He's looking at the down the distance to know when to get his hands up, especially like in goal line, short yardage situations. Most smart linemen know, hey, if you can't get to the quarterback, you got to get your hands up. And you watch his film, he's batting balls in the air at 1,000 feet where he almost got a couple interceptions on his own by just tipping the ball and getting to it. So definitely a guy that I would love to have on our defense, can help shore it up. And like you said, with the guys we're losing, he has a great opportunity to come in and play right away. And I think, you pair that with the training he's going to get at Florida, I think he has an opportunity to do that. Not saying he has to come in and be a starter, just super elite right out the gate, but he still has some development to go. But he's a guy that's trending upward. I looked at his sophomore film between sophomore and junior year. You can just see the leap in him, just in the stance, how he's getting down in the stance. And the coaching, I guess, changed up for him. I'm looking at the way they play defense sophomore year. This guy is out in coverage. I seen him covering wide receivers on some plays, which was crazy. So even like the jack position, we're gonna need that. We got guys that are tall that can cover running backs out the backfield and tight ends on occasionally. So I think he's a guy you can put all over the football field from that aspect, and is somebody that I definitely would love to have at Florida.
Boys, just to head over 440 strong in here. Smash that like button, subscribe. We humming tonight, boys. We're having a great show, jam-packed one.
Like button.
We're not going anywhere, so keep it rolling, keep it hot, keep the chat rocking and rolling. But yeah, look, man, with Trenton Henderson, in phenomenal flip around this past year, with what Ron Roberts was able to do with this defense and the stock build up, that Jack Pyburn, TJ Searcy, Cameron James, George Gums, and Tyreek Sapp all built up with just in a year. I mean, the fact that Pyburn and Searcy were able to go and get kind of that first round type of pay from another school alongside with, and they leave and we're like, we're good. We got Cameron James, Tyreek Sapp, LJ McCray, so up and coming with the 5-star guy. Shout out to Mike Peterson and what Chapman were able to do with that line. And I think that's why we're starting to see that success turn around with his defensive lineman. And look, you want great line play and great edge play, especially where the league is going, especially how the NFL is evolving. These kids want to be able to play in a fast speed with very mobile quarterbacks, which the SEC provides. Like, this is where you want to come if you want to play at the next level, at an elite level. So Florida's got to close this one, though.
Yeah, and definitely, I know I didn't mention, but he sets the edge very well. Like I say, he's just a smart player. And I haven't seen, just, of course we're looking at highlights, but nobody's got outside the edge of him. Just the way he do it, he's smart. He kind of knows what the play is when it's coming at him. So he definitely sets the edge well. And he takes on those up blockers, the fullbacks that's coming at him. I like the way he's able to engage with them and shed the blockers and still make plays. That's important.
Let's do a quick little wish list here, okay? We know Vodney Cleveland. He's been training for Florida. Let's say Vodney Cleveland hits alongside Jarayla McCoy. And then you add Trenton Henderson. I mean, boys, you're talking about this defensive line would be similar to what that secondary was last year. I mean, just talking about top-tier guys that can come in and make an impact right away. And again, on both sides of the trench work, I mean, the focus, I said 4 or 5 guys. It may be in the upper echelon of 6 or 7 just because we are having, for the first time since Billy has been here, a big overhaul in the trenches, meaning guys are going to be going on to the next level, right? We've been a very young team since Billy's been here because of his early turnover. There was a couple senior guys, but not to where you're having this massive flip. And this time you're going to have a majority of your starters flipping over, and I think that's a healthy conversation. When we talked about it before, right? When Billy would say, "Hey, we'd say this was a selling point. You can come play for Florida right away because we're in shambles," right? Like that was kind of the pitch. Now it's like, hey, we've built something. We've created a foundation. We've created a standard, but you still have an ability to play because of how good you are. Now we can pitch the same things to those elite guys, but hey, we're gonna plug you in into a finite system with other guys that are working the way around them. Not just you're going to come play for a dumpster fire because you're just good and we just don't have anybody.
Right.
No, you're going to come play and be effective and also compete at an elite level, which is where these other schools of Texas and Georgia's, they've been able to pitch that. Florida now has to capitalize on that as well.
Yeah, and it comes down to the structure. When you're an elite player, you want to come in and play, but you want to come in to wear structure. You want to come into a team that's just saying, hey, just go off of pure talent because we need you. We're just going to throw you out there. You want to come in, hey, I got guys that are in front of me that I can learn from before they get out of here. And what I'm learning is valuable. You know what I mean? These guys that are leaving playing at elite level, and I want to be able to mimic what they're doing when I come in on a few plays until I take over. So that's just very important, seeing how we're solid in the structure and we have guys that are rotating and you can kind of see, okay, these guys are leaving. This is where I fit in to kind of fill those roles, and the system is still here. You know what I mean? So I think that's important for them as well, too. Being young, you want to get thrown out there, but you don't want to just get thrown out into the fire where there's no structure. Now we're solid. Everybody knows what they're doing. Now it's just time to plug and play.
Absolutely. And look, we'll continue to keep an eye on this. He's visiting Texas this weekend, so that one's going to be a big one to keep an eye on. And I don't think even if he were to commit one way or the other that it's going to be a fight that it's going to end this weekend. I think this one's going to be a dogfight to the end, and that Texas-Florida matchup could be a big one. It could be a massive turning point for either team for this recruiting cycle, which is really fun. It's like that's where you want to be. That's how you want these things to be, and that's where this is trending to be like. So let's get into we've had some highs. Let's take a step down, and then we'll bring her back up. Okay, that's just movie 101. All right, that's just controlling the narrative here. So our man Shivers, we talked about this a few weeks back. I mean, Steve and I were chit chatting about it. I don't think we ever had you on the show to talk about it because when it originally broke, we couldn't even say who it was. We just gave you the weight. Right. Everybody knew who it was, and then his name was announced shortly after that. And there was just so many things moving on. We kind of moved past it because all we got was like, hey, we're going to look into it. We'll get back after it. And that was kind of it. So we kind of, I would say, held our judgment, held our thoughts on it because you're only getting so many sides of it. And we've learned, I think nowadays, you never want to jump to conclusions to not offend any side of it. It's a tough place to be. However, today he was dismissed from the team. Nothing has been said anything out loud. No charges have been confirmed, but it lets me know that this is serious enough that Florida did enough of their digging to go, this is an issue. From what I read, that there was multiple occurrences of this happening. And I said it when we talked about it. I go, look, there's lines for things. I'm a firm believer in if someone makes a mistake. And I said this when Deshaun Johnson got caught with what could have been bad. I said, look, a situation like this, I don't know if you kick him off the team. You work with him. And someone can call me a hypocrite. Right. For this, hitting a woman, that to me that's past the line of, hey, you dismiss him. Now, some people in the comments said, hey, he's a young kid. You work with him. And I liked that perspective. For me, where my standards were, I go, I'm not cool. I'm not cool with that. I wish him nothing but the best, but that's not going to happen here. Sure. And I think, obviously, Florida felt the same way. I think what we're here now with it being a common occurrence probably didn't help. This wasn't like a one-off thing. There's a common denominator here.
Yeah, I mean, young guy, 17. You want to do your due diligence as Florida to make sure you get all the facts of the situation before you dismiss someone from the team. But I have zero tolerance for somebody that I don't know if he put his hands on her per se. I don't know, but anytime you're in that situation, I have zero tolerance for it. I have a mother. I have a ton of sisters, aunties, cousins, nieces that I love, and I'm not a fan of any guy that can be threatening towards a woman. You got a million chances to walk away and make better decisions. I'm not familiar with the whole totality of the case. I know they said that he admitted to throwing the phone into the wall. And Silver, you're a big fella, any type of aggressive actions like that with a woman around, people are going to take that and think about your mental state and what could possibly be going on, especially if you're saying they heard multiple instances. I'm not sure if there's multiple arguments or just multiple disputes between the two. But yeah, it's just something that I don't tolerate at all. And there's a way you don't want to just cast them away. You know what I mean? You do want to work with them and make sure that you set them up, but you can work with them and not play. Football is a privilege. Football is a game. It's something that you get to do as a bonus. It's not something that you have to do. His life is not based around football. So I'd rather deal with the human being, deal with the person, and correct him before I put football before any of that. So you can still help him and him not be on your team. You can still help him get where he need to be as a man and growing,
Sure.
and not have football be
Good
a
point.
part of that. And
Yeah.
if football is going to be a part of that, you clear all that up. You're young. There's other people that went JUCO. There's people that went to all kind of different routes to get where they wanted to be because they love the game. But if you love the game that much and this is what you want to do, you just know there are things that coaches and teams and schools do not tolerate, and that's one of them. And so you got to correct all of that, and there can still be a future for you for football. But as a young man, I'd rather see him get his life in order first and get whatever that is in the system out of him that will cause him to have that much anger. No matter the situation, I've played the game. I've been around plenty of women. I've been slapped before and all kind of stuff and walked away, spit in my face and everything and walked away. So there's a level of restraint that you can have.
Hey, what you doing?
And if you don't,
Why you pissing me off so much?
hey, I was
Let's
smooth.
talk about what.
I was smooth, man. I was casting over. The ladies love me. They all wanted me.
Okay,
But,
okay, it was okay.
yeah,
Yeah, too many of them.
yeah,
Okay, all right, all right, all right.
I didn't have too many. They just, they just wanted me. I had enough. I had my fair share, Sheldon. Okay, if you go to Florida, the ratio is like 5-1 or 6-1, and then if you say you want to just settle down and be by yourself, Sheldon,
This
I got
this was pre-NIL era. His car could only fit so many. He couldn't Uber everybody over. It wasn't his fault.
You decide you want to settle down, Sheldon, you supposed to have 6-1. Now I got to take your 5. I already got 6-1. Now I'm like 11. Definitely.
My fault. It was my fault. Rob says, I just don't like
prayers for everybody involved, man.
Sure.
I hope Silvers can turn around. You're young, man. You got a bright future, man. But there's other things that are way more important than playing the game of football when we're dealing with lives and being violent. So.
Yeah, look, and Rob says, I don't like the dismissal before the due process. And look, this leads me to believe that enough information was found out in a short amount of time.
He's on house arrest, they say. He has an ankle monitor. The judge supposedly released him where he can still go to class and participate in football activities. You're not going to have that distraction around your team. You know where the trajectory that we're on. It's just too much of the distractions. Have you still participating in workouts and stuff like that with the legal stuff still pending? That would be all for nothing. So you just be done with it for now. You know what I mean? Until the situation, situation shapes up. But I wish him the best.
Absolutely. And how it impacts the roster? Would have Shivers played next year? I think we would have seen some snaps just given his sheer size. He was kind of, supposed to come in and be what that big Dez was without the experience. But I know that Chapman was putting a lot of time and effort into him, really trying. I think because he saw what he could have had in Big Dez, but got there a little late and was really trying to make him that project. And I think also because of this dismissal, makes you wonder if Florida will be extra aggressive in this recruiting class with the defensive line, right? You now have, in a sense, an opening to go get a top-tier guy to replace what he would have been a second-year guy, right? Like, go now.
Even if we went through the whole spring and stuff like, there's guys that have stepped up, guys that we've been banking on to step up. Me personally, I believe Shiver was going to get some snaps, but it wasn't going to be an overload of snaps.
Sure.
You probably get him in some bear packages, maybe some goal line packages, but we have other guys for that. We take a shot at that position, but you're going to get other guys that can come in and fill that role, but you just never know. Maybe, whatever funds we were giving him, we hold out and give it to the 5-star edge guy and work some things around. And we asked Chapman, hey, are we good here? You good with what you got? All right, we're going to use that money over here. You know what I mean? You never know how they're going to reallocate the funds. So
absolutely. Well, look, before we keep on going with the show, we're going to talk about moving forward here, some potential targets, where Florida needs to go next, a flip watch as well, and then a giveaway at the end of the show. But speaking of, we're doing two giveaways. One is going to last for a little bit, and I want to pull up.
Make sure you guys smash the like button. 4 strong. Let's go,
there
baby.
It is. 404 strong. Smash the like button. We are doing a giveaway. Not ending today, but we are giving something away at the end of this show. I'm going to try to do a duck race, but for some reason, I think we're having computer. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to see the duck race. So it's going to be a whole thing, I'm sure, at the end of the show, but we'll get into that. But we are doing a giveaway for the signed Brandon Spikes tequila bottle. How you enter in is, of course, check the link in that description. Go to the High Top Sports merch shop and scoop up yourself some merch. The ones that have already purchased something before we announce this will be entered into that drawing as well. So again, Banderos. So get after it. A signed bottle from Mr. Brandon Spikes on his very own tequila bottle when you purchase yourself some sweet old High Top Sports merch, ladies and gentlemen. So good stuff there. All right, let's talk about this. All right, so some top targets that were talked about after their great weekend here. These are names. Like, there's these names, and there's more names that we're gonna go after here in a little bit. But I think where Florida sits, these guys they sit well with currently. Okay, first one being Claude Lapuno, I believe is how it's pronounced. 4-star offensive tackle. Now here's the thing: he visited Auburn last week. Said that Auburn was his number one school, was very impressive. And now after Florida, after his visit goes, Florida's on top. It's Florida right now. Love what they did. I feel comfortable over here. I feel like I'm home. So that's probably a big thing for me. Top 220 player. This is a kid, again, if you're able to land someone like this to what this offensive line class already is, this is a top 20 offensive tackle, 6'7", 308. Now you're sitting at 5 offensive linemen. I mean, now all of a sudden, this offensive line class is looking thick and juicy, and you're still in a great place, in my opinion, to go after a top 5-star guy if you really want to. But if you do add this guy, you get 5 really sound, great size, great quality guys that may grow into those 4 stars throughout this senior year. And again, it's hard for me to take what he said because he loved Auburn 4 days ago. I mean, this is a recruit right now, so that's just kind of how it's be. But love that we were close strong on this last one here.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I know shot to Auburn, but having Florida after Auburn, I could take his word of it. You know, if you haven't been to Florida yet and you go to Auburn, you're like, yeah, this is great. Recruiting visits are always fun, but then there's some schools that are just elite, and Florida's one of them. So I could believe them.
Love it. We'll see how it plays out. Next one we got is Davion Gray, 6'1", 190. Looking like Florida has creeped up into the top 3 for him. Looks like Texas is in the mix here for this young man. I think Florida State is another one. He's a top recruit, number 79 overall, so top 100 player here. Great 4-star if Florida is able to add him. Again, these will all be battles coming down to the wire. Top 7 athlete in the country. I think he plays running back, a little bit of everything. And again, if he wants to play running back, another 6'1", 190 running back to the mix. I'm telling you what, man. I mean, he would then be higher rated than Carson Baker, the touchdown maker, but he's not listed. I mean, he's got the athlete title, which is kind of weird, but there's that one. Then Malik Morris, that one's a good one, man. I mean, we've got to talk about a potential linebacker flip, but Malik Morris is somebody that Keith came on the show and said that Florida made a great move on him this weekend with Robert Ballard, our linebacker coach. So hearing some great things about him, top linebacker in this class as well. Go ahead.
No, I just love Malik. Looking at the film, very explosive. He's a sure tackler. This guy, when he hits you, going down, got very long. It's 6'1" frame, but very long. He got the arms of like a 6'4", 6'5" person, as long as the arms are. So when he wrap you up, you going down. So I just like his size. And I like the way he played the game. He's a hard-nosed hitter. He's coming downhill full force. I just like the way he played the game.
Now, the one in the mix here is Jay Bateman, Texas A&M. Obviously, was once a Florida linebacker coach. So the relationship with Florida has always been there, but with more so with Jay Bateman. So glad to hear that Robert Ballard made some good connections this past offseason. Again, our linebacker coach has kind of been in a little bit of a carousel since Bateman left because Austin Armstrong kind of took over, but it was also Ron Roberts. So there was, I think, some confusion last year. But the linebackers had major success, and that was a huge reason why we landed Ty Jackson last year, who was the number 1 linebacker. So there's a few positions I think Florida does a great job on recruiting and developing. One of those being running backs, the other being linebackers. So I don't get too concerned or too worked up when it's, hey, are they going to close on this guy or do they need to go get these guys? No. Linebackers, they do pretty well on.
Yeah, so I was going to say, especially at the linebacker position, when you look at the young guys that we were able to bring on, the level at which they played, the knowledge of the game that they acquired since they've been here. Ron Roberts being able to teach the game to these guys, I think it speaks volumes to just the core in itself. So if you want to play linebacker and you want to learn the game at the right level, why not Florida? I love Bateman, but the Florida logo was responsible for a lot of that. So
Absolutely. Now let's talk about James Johnson here. Another big one to watch, another 4-star defensive lineman. This, again, we talked about the wish list with Trenton Henderson, with Vonnie Cleveland, with Jarrell McCoy. I just talked about with the departure of Steven Shivers. Like, things open up on this defensive line, and you're kind of in a place where you can really attack hard and heavy. This goes in the same motion here with On3 has this young man, a top 15 player and the number 1 defensive lineman recruit in the country. And right now, Florida sits in a very good place with him with 8 visits total, next being Miami, following Florida State. So Florida is making a heavy push here. Obviously, Georgia's going to be in the mix, so we got to keep an eye out for them from Cape Coral, Florida. But top 3 right now, they said, look, he's doing a great job. So had some great things to say about his visit. But this one we want to watch for me. Yeah, and if we're able to get him along these guys we've been hearing, guys, I'm telling you, this class, and we can maybe play a little calculator game here in just a minute if we want to. I know that it gets spicy, but when you're in this world, man, it's like spinning your scratch off money, right? You buy a nice scratch off, like, hey, if we win $5 million, what are we going to do with it? You like to talk about what could be. It's fun to sometimes dream of what it might be.
No, I just like what we're going after, just knowing that we're loaded in the skill position area. And so, guys, when you're a lineman, you want to come to a school that got skill position. Like, man, if I don't want to do all this work on the field, I want to get off the field on third downs and see points get put up on the board. So that's an attractive lure, knowing that you're going to go to a school that's going to put points on the board. You're not going to be on the field all day. And you know that we're putting points on the board. You're going to put a lot of teams in third down situations, or not even third down situation, but a lot of teams are going to have to try to score points to match you. And so they give you a lot more opportunities to rush the passer, knowing that team's going to have to score points because we're going to put points on the board. So I think that's attractive for the guys knowing that.
Yeah, 100%. Again, like we just said, we mentioned it. We're kind of reiterating that as like, look, it's not that you're going to come in and just play for a dumpster fire. You're going to come and play and start, but be in a nice system and be able to have success very early on. And again, the goal is how quickly can I get to the NFL and play at an elite level. Now, quick little shout out here, boys. The squad has been cooking. Okay, we've been writing articles left and right. We've got a superstar writing us an article now. I don't want to break the news until it breaks, but I'm super pumped to have him write for High Top Sports. Kind of a full circle moment. But we've been pumping out articles, having fun with it. Stephen Harris wrote a few. Cody has been doing a great job of breaking down these players, right, and giving more of an in-depth look to the players. He wrote one today about Marquez Daniel, okay? And he just sent me a photo, and we retweeted it. And Billy Napier just liked his tweet on Marquez on the article. Oh,
man.
Yeah.
Shout out to me, man, Cody, Professor, man.
Cody's in shambles in the good kind of way right now. He is losing his mind, if I had to say so myself. So cool.
You gotta make sure y'all follow Cody the Professor on the Bird. Make sure you guys follow him and retweet his post. He put a lot of work into bringing you guys these fantastic articles. He does a lot of breakdown, and I'm not sure if y'all know, but Cody has a son who's really a genius. He's a football savant, and I'm not sure if he might be writing for Cody. He's only about 10. I don't know if it's on 10, 12, possible. I don't know. But he's very, very, very smart. I see where it comes from because Cody be knocking it out. But Cody, I think your son got you. And if you could, just give him some credit as your ghostwriter.
That's all we want. He goes, has that ever happened to you? I go, no, Cody, but I'm in the family photo. There's levels to this stuff, Cody. There's levels to this. All right, boys. Let's dive into this, and then we'll talk about Flip Watch here. So we've been talking about how great this class is, how excited we are for what it's looking like thus far with 12 commits. We've kind of been breaking it down. Yeah. We've been going through the motions. We talked about potential targets. But the last little bit here, if what's left, is probably that secondary. We've got Caden Hall, the 4-star big-time safety, committed 6'3", 190, which is great. But we know how secondaries, you got to get a bunch of them. Those guys, you breaking ankles every 5 minutes, right? They're fragile. So let's take a look. Let's dive into this, potential prospects here. We mentioned at the beginning of the show, one to watch out for, Chauncey Keenan, the 5-star cornerback. He is there currently out of Booker, Sarasota, Florida. I believe Florida State is the one that is leading the buck at this moment. But this young man's top 2 cornerback in the country. I feel like Florida is always in the mix. His commitment's July 6th. That should be a fun one we could possibly stream if it's happening. But Florida's always right there. Kamani McLean is someone that I remember. Hilton Stubbs. They do a good job of getting after those top-tier cornerbacks. So hopefully we can make a big impression this week. Darren Wilson, he's the cornerback coach. I know a lot of great things have been said about him that I've been reading about. What's that?
The one, right? They won the one.
Is that his thing?
Is it day one or the one, Wilkins?
I don't know. Steve, you cut me off guard there. I wasn't ready
for
that.
No, the cornerback coach. Is it day one or the one?
I think it's Darren.
No.
You lost me, big guy. I don't know. No.
The chat to get you.
All right, they'll catch me up here. All right, so that's one to keep an eye on. Braylon Womack, Ohio State has been heavily involved with this, but it's been a name that we kind of heard through time. Like, it hasn't really drifted away. I think Florida made a good impression on him. He's 5'11". He's a 5-star cat. Number 1 safety in the class. If you're able to tag him and type him alongside Caden Hall, and of course, Chauncey. I mean, this secondary class, and again, this is when you start looking at how this class can be. Let's say you do land a Chauncey Keenan and a Womack. That's probably asking for too much, but I'm gonna we're putting the wish list together. And Caden Hall alongside these 5-star guys. This is where this class starts training for that 5-star caliber type of class. If you just get one of them, I don't need all of them. Just give me one of those guys. That could be huge. So those are the only 2 big. Here's why I'm not so. I don't think it's as crazy to look at it, because you can look at 247, you can kind of look at the wish list, you can look at where their eyes are at. Those are the only 2 secondaries that they're looking at. Then it's all edge, defensive line, edge, defensive line. And they got a lot of targets for defensive line. They've got Isaiah Jackson. CJ Hester, is another one. He's a 3-4-star guy that Florida is trending for. So there's 4 secondary pieces right there. And that's their top target. So essentially, it's like, you are our guy. We will do what we can for this. Not saying they can't go get somebody else, but, man, I like where they sit currently with those guys because of just where their targets are.
Yeah, and, these are the guys, from the state of Florida. Like you said, the Chauncey Keenan guys out of Sarasota. So, any cornerback, anybody in the top. Yeah. And what about the Brody?
Womack, Mississippi.
No,
who's that?
Brody Jennings. I think he's a former Michigan commit, the 4-star cornerback.
I haven't heard much from him.
Florida. Yeah, I think he went to the same school and stuff. I think he's from Mandarin.
Okay.
He's a 4-star cornerback out of Mandarin.
Say this again.
Brody Jennings.
Oh, CJ Broninall, the Nebraska kid, a cornerback. That's another one they're looking at as well. I just saw.
Brody Jennings out of Jacksonville. He's the former Michigan's commit.
What's his rating?
He's 4-star.
Okay. So maybe there's some more. I'm just looking at 247. They kind of have their top targets. So that's good to know that there's more. And again, this Nebraska kid, I saw him just pop up.
In the relationship. So he's Jacksonville.
Close to home. Hilton Stubbs.
These guys to all be out. Yeah. 4 stars out of state of Florida. I think at all these guys, just depends on where some of these other teams land. If some of these other teams pick up another guy, then I believe we're in position to definitely snag 1 or 2 guys.
The other one here that Florida has a top target, is in good relations with right now, is Mr. Morgan, the 6'4" wide receiver from Alabama. We'll see how that comes out. But, I mean, now, when you look at this top target, they've got a 5-star in Morgan, a 5-star in Womack, a 5-star in Calvin Russell that they're warm with, a 6'5" wide receiver from Miami. 5-star cornerback Chauncey Keenan, 5-star edge Trenton Henderson. They're cooling off of him. The 5-star tight end Caden Protho, the 4-star defensive lineman Vodney Cleveland, the 4-star edge Jake Krull from IMG. So I mean, if this is where the 4-star defensive lineman James Johnson, like, this is kind of what's left on their top tier of their list. This is where they've got to close in on. They're in a good place with a lot. I mean, these are all top 100 players. Everyone I just mentioned is top 100. So,
I like just what we've been doing. Like, you were talking about recruiting and just who we're getting guys from. like who are in contention to get these guys, and the fact that we're able to not necessarily steal them, but prove our value higher than some of these teams. And you got to expect that affects recruiting at all the positions. Like I said, some of these guys are friends with some of these guys and play with them in different tournaments or just know them from the area. And so they're like, man, Florida's really hot right now. And I
Yeah,
think it's paying off for us for sure.
absolutely, man. I mean, and again, it's nice to see. It just feels like there's a control of the situation and things are going well for Florida.
Yeah, especially
Let's
in digging in Florida. It's been a while since we've had that many guys from Florida really consider the University of Florida. Where
I
it's
mean,
been a
yeah.
while. We had guys leaving the state when Miami was down in the dumps. We had guys leaving the state. You know what I mean? And skipping over Florida. But now it seems like Florida's back running the state, literally running the state, and high school recruits are taking note of that, and they're like, he's going to Florida.
Oh, we out. Feels good. Feels good to be
Yeah.
where we're at. This is probably the most comfortable I felt in a long time when it comes to recruiting. So this young man, the number
There it
one
goes.
linebacker.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Justin Cordero in the chat says day one Wilkins. Yeah. All right. The one or day one? You
By
see
the
it?
way, Daewon Wilkins is the DB
Yeah.
quality coach. Is that his nickname or something? Because Darren, I'm pretty sure it's Darren Wilson. Like there must be something I'm missing.
No,
Okay.
we do have Wilson, but yeah, day one Wilkins definitely came on to the staff.
Okay, so so I thought you're okay. So there's two guys who we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought y'all were
Yes,
messing
sir.
with me about like a nickname. All right, Isaiah Williams, linebacker. This has been a drama fest. He was there this weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah, somebody. I think we were like his fourth school, and then he committed to Ole Miss, and that was kind of like a what's going on. Like the families were like, "What the heck?" We've talked to Bender about this entire situation. Try to recap it as best as we can. But committed to Florida State, committed to Syracuse, commits to us, was committed to us for like 2 weeks, and then again flipped to Ole Miss out of the blue. His agents, his family were kind of all in distraught about it, and was there. And apparently they made some great stride, as I think they would. I mean, I think when we had Bender on the first time, they wanted Isaiah to wait. They wanted to make sure, like, hey, once you commit, like you feel pretty good about it, because he wanted to commit back in last September. So his connection to Florida has been strong for a couple months. It's not like it was just this one-off thing.
Sure.
When he committed a month and a half ago, it felt very legitimate because the process they went through to get to that point was very vetted. This is from an On3 message board from the old Miss side. Flip it back to you. Apparently, why didn't we go after this kid? Seems like an easy flip. Again, who knows how to take this, but we do know that Keith mentioned him when he came on the show, and then I saw this and I go, this is. I mean, it's got to be something to watch. The guy's flipped 7 times. It wouldn't be surprising if he were to flip again. And I do look. Some people are like, I don't want to be part of this drama. But the fact they had him back on, they spoke with him again. I think that Florida obviously likes this kid a lot, and they're kind of willing to put up with maybe the little bit of the I mean, this is do we really care? He flips back and forth. I don't know.
No.
As long as he commits, right?
Yeah.
And Zach told us that, like, Florida's willing to kind of jump through some hoops for certain guys. Dallas Wilson was one of those guys, and maybe Isaiah Williams is one of those guys. I don't know. From what I've heard from Bender and others, like, the kid's awesome. Like, he's well-spoken, just kind of shy to himself. I think there's a lot of people in his ear, which may cause for some of the confusion at times, which doesn't make any sense. But it's a weird one to watch, and one we'll continue to keep an eye on. But this one's not over until the paper's signed, and even then, I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, when you're an elite player, man, you got to imagine the amount of pressure that's coming from every program to get you to commit to their school. You know what I mean? And it's tough. It's not an easy situation. Everybody don't handle it the same, but none of it matters until the ink is dry on the paper. So I believe for Florida, we know we have top interest from the kid, but then at the same time, you don't want to pressure them and say, hey, man, don't go nowhere else. Don't look at nothing else. That'd be I guess that'd be stupid on our behalf to put that much pressure on him, saying, hey, we don't want you doing this, want you doing that. I want you, and I want you to want us too. So hey, go look at everywhere. Go check it out. Go see what they have to offer. They don't have what we have. You seen what our freshmen been able to do, Miles Graham and the likes. Go look at every other program and see what they've been able to do when they first got here, and it's not gonna compare. So go out there, see what people have to offer, and at the end of the day, we'll be right here waiting on you. And I just believe, for me, the fact that he's committed to so many teams, just for me, I believe he's going to come back around. You know what I
Yeah, look,
mean?
if Florida
You come
usually
back to where you
takes
started.
Florida usually takes 2 linebackers. They've been historically good with that of doing that, and so they don't have much on their list according to this here. So I mean, if they feel pretty good about him, Malik Morris, that's one hell of a linebacker class once again. And again,
Yeah.
he's visiting Colorado this week, so we'll see how that plays out. Again, he's taking advantage of the moment, and as he should. But
Would you
hopefully, he
not
kind
go
of
see Dion if
yeah,
you had the
100%.
opportunity?
I mean, dude,
Like,
the coaching
yeah.
staff they have there, yeah, you got to get after it, especially if they're willing to have you.
You
Uh,
want to go see these guys for sure.
yeah, they've got a Hall of Fame with a whole bunch of Hall of Famers on that coaching staff, so 100% go check it out. But look, I like where Florida still sits, and some of you may not appreciate it, but of how he's handled his recruiting thus far, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of
It's
the
always
day,
1 or 2 every cycle.
yeah, you
1 or
got
2.
to you come out there and perform. You can do whatever you want prior to. Nobody remembers it anyways. Not everyone's look. You usually have this kind of mentality and I would say attitude from maybe your wide receivers and now I call them the prima donnas of the group, right? You've got them. Like you're the quarterback, you want those guys to be even keel. When you're seeing quarterbacks do this, that's where I would be a little more concerned, right? Cornerbacks do this, not quarter. Cornerbacks are more drama-esque.
Right.
You want them to little loose. You gotta have a little crackhead in you. That's just kind of how it is. Like a little bit of you got to be a little. You see them now on NFL, like with just their comments. Like I would be a perfect cornerback if I had any athletic bone in my body. My sit talking skills would be through the roof.
The only 2 positions for me that I don't want to see any flip flopping from is my quarterback, and my left tackle.
Okay.
Quarterback and left tackle. These guys have to be solid, sure guys that no matter what, you're in it. No matter what, you don't get to be a prima donna. You don't get to be a pretty boy. You don't get to just hop around. You got to have a commitment level that is through the roof. So quarterback, left tackle. I don't want to see any of like when the Colorado kid.
Dion's comments. Yeah. The left tackle Seaton.
Yeah, it was
he straightened up very well. I agree. I was like, this could be a headache.
But he turned talent-wise, he got everything you need. He turned out to be very well. Came in as a true freshman playing.
He's a good kid.
But that headache at the position, that's why the hysteria to me was so high. You got to be solid at those 2 positions to me in your commitment level and your focus. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to see my tackles and my quarterbacks jumping around for me anywhere.
Coach Prime's kind of got roasted for this. But I mean, like he's not wrong. Like what he looks for in guys. Have you heard his comments where he's like, I want my defensive linemen and certain guys to kind of have like the just drama at home, not necessarily a solid foundation because I want them a little loose. I want a little bit of like hunger, and I want my offensive lineman and my quarterback to come from a nice, comfortable home. I want them to be stable. I want them to be calm and cool and collected. Like, he got to fit up. I was like, no, like it's the mindset was what he's looking for. Like he's not wrong. Like, hey, I want a little daddy issues. I want a little like, hey, I want to be pissed off. I want to be mad all the time. That's what I want. I need to figure out how to control it. But yeah, it's 100%. That's what we're looking for.
Dion knows. He knows the unhinged players and what they can produce it once you can bridle it and tame it. He knows.
Yeah, look, he spoke from that coming from a place like that's why when people got offended, I was like, dude, it's not like it's a shot towards anybody. Like he's not wishing this on anybody. It's just like that's what those environments creates that mindset. We all find a way to find our own fire, right? And if you've been in the world long enough, like, hey, this is what it's kind of. I can't say that. I can't get into that. All right, let me dive into a couple things. So we're gonna do some giveaways now. All right, first giveaway is for this. Now I'm hopefully let me see. Let's see if we can get lucky here.
Independent Gator Media Day.
Yes, sir. It's still not working, and I'm very frustrated.
You guys get the tickets.
Steve, they're gonna yell at me because I'm not gonna be able to show the duck race.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know because it's not letting me share my screen.
I'll make sure he's not cheating, guys. Well, I won't be able to see it neither. Dang, I can't even do that.
I'm trying to think of how I can do this. How I can finagle this.
Numbers 1 through 10 in my head.
And yeah, there's 200 people, Steve. So good luck with that.
Yeah, my math ain't that good either.
Oh, what I can do is screenshot it once it finishes. Maybe I'll do that. You guys can hear it go. So we're gonna have 2 races, 2 winners for tickets to this event. That's happening on July 27th. We're really trying to, this event is going to be absolutely incredible. Gator Media Day with Stadium and Gale, Gators Breakdown, High Top Sports. Murky Waters has made their announcement, I believe. Will and Nick will be there from Read and React. I think Bud Davis and a few others are going to be there. Stephen Harris, of course, will be there. So this thing's going to be through the roof. It's going to be an absolute great time. Players, of course, will be there as well. I wanted to show the duck race to give us 2 tickets away, but we're in shambles.
Do you have it on your phone?
I don't have it on my phone, but you know what I'll do is I'll record it and then I'll play it back on my phone. How about that? And then I'll just do this. And that way,
at least, they know it's official.
Yeah, all right. Let me go ahead and hit play for this first.
Smash the like button, man. 370.
It's going. All right. I'll commentate as it's happening. I mean, there's 100 ducks. I can't even read the names right now. There's 10 seconds left in the race. We've got
moving lead. Come on.
Homebrew Studios taking a commanding lead here.
Oh.
Homebrew Studios.
Homebrew Studios.
All right, here we go.
You said Homebrew Studios?
Yeah, Homebrew Studios. All right, you're going to watch it again live just so you know I wasn't cheating. Here you go.
Right, and all right. You got to press start? Oh, no.
They're going. You just can't tell.
Yeah, it's going. That's it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There it is. Homebrew Studios wins our first one there, and we're going to do one more. Duck quit quacking at me. I appreciate
that was the same race. Oh, you just replayed it. Okay. I thought that was the second race.
No,
so
not
Homebrew
yet.
Studios. Shout out to Homebrew Studios.
I got to put the...
Harrison said yes.
What did he say?
Harrison. So this is the most raggedy delay ever.
The rig delay. No, he can't say it's rigged because he's won already. He can't say it's rigged. He can't say it's rigged because he's already won.
Yeah, Harrison won before.
Yeah, as he was saying it was rigged. He can't do that. I'm sorry it's not working, guys. It's my thing is not letting me share my screen. I'm doing the best that I can, all right?
Shout out to High Top Rook.
You're giving stuff away for free, and people are like, this sucks. I hate it here. All right, here we go. Next race. Our second winner. Ooh, we got a Trump duck. Early lead here. Oh, nope. We got a purple duck. We got a green duck. Cody Phillips taking a lead. Looks like he might pull it off. Carlos Pendleton, but here comes Russell Swick for the win. Oh, and it's Russell Swick. I had a little shaky race camera there.
Yeah. Russell Swick.
Here we go.
All right. Russell Swick. Yeah,
this is pretty janky, isn't it?
Fine, they'll zoom in. They'll be all right.
Look at this. I was watching the race. Russell Swick. There it is.
Swick.
I don't know if he's in here, but
is it Russell Swick? Like taking a drink, like taking a swig,
Swick.
like a sip?
Swick, like John Wick with an S.
Swick. All right, Russell Swick. Shout out to Russell Swick.
Yeah, Homebrew Studios. I think he just commented like the other day. So shout out to Homebrew Studios. Hopefully he'll see this and
so what they winning again, Sean?
They're winning each will get a ticket to this independent Gator Media Day on July 27th. So
yeah, Homebrew Studios and Russell Swick.
Absolutely crushing it. And then of course we'll be having the other giveaway for the bottles once you purchase something here from High Top Sports merch. I got a bunch of stuff coming up. I'm really excited about. Really excited to see how it all turned out. But again, shout out to I think we got a handful of things we were able to get off so far. Last one, Keenan Johnson ordered a few more things. I love it. Yeah. Keenan had a big order already of 5 things, and now he's ordered another item. So shout out to Keenan there. He's get him a.
There's also going to be a signing in Gainesville coming up with Coach Meyer. He's going to be there. I think next week or the week after. I'll get information. But
get the information.
Los Linderos. Urban Meyer is a part of this product. Him and Spikes are our business partners on this business venture. So it's great product, smooth tasting.
We're gonna meet. Are we gonna meet up there?
Oh, come on, brother, man. You know I'm trying to Work the magic.
Let's get after it. Let's make
I didn't get a chance to let you know we got so much good stuff going on.
We do got a lot we're working. We got a lot that we're working.
Herb bottles as well. So yeah,
it's crazy to think that there's so many exciting things that we have in the mix that you forget to tell me that we're gonna go hang out with Urban in a week. Like that's crazy. Like that's falling down the list of things of how many things that we have in the works. That's pretty cool.
Follow the Los Venderos Instagram page. Yeah, great product, man. I got a lot of exciting things going forward in the future.
I love it, man. Bro, great show. Hour long, but a lot of jam-packed, a lot of information on this beautiful Monday. Hope you guys enjoyed it. 300 strong, almost 400 strong. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest shows we've had this offseason, which is great. We love that you guys are appreciating it and enjoying it and have been showing a lot of support as of late. So, Steve and I, and again, shout out to Cody getting the light from Billy Napier. I'm going to go check on him, make sure he has a heart attack.
Y'all follow Cody, man. Shout out to the whole High Top Sport gang, Rook, Professor, Cody, Swolder.
Boys are cooking, baby. Boys are cooking, man. We're doing some things.
Support and love, energy from the fan base, man. Thank you guys, all the High Top fans.
Absolutely. You guys are incredible, supporting the show, supporting the merch, and just supporting us just in general. Baby. Just from watching the show, liking it means the world to us. We appreciate it, boys. We'll see you on Wednesday. I believe, I think I can say it. Carson Baker, the touchdown maker, will join us on Wednesday. We don't stop cooking, boys. We don't stop cooking. The newly committed 4-star running back said he'll be there. So, these kids are busy. We'll see how. We'll make sure we double finalize it and pronounce it. But it looks like we're all in, and we're working on a few more commits to be joining the show as well. So, y'all be good. Stay frosty.
Smash
stay
that
safe.
like button.
Smash the like button. Stephen Harris, Fanmo Game 365 on X, High Top Sports on X. Give us a follow. Show some love. Till next time, baby. Peace and love.
Rook, we love you, Rook.